Over the hills and through the woods
I'm thirsty.
to grandmother's 24/7 convenience store to buy milk. So, last time we were in her room looking for fireflies.
Yep, and tonight we will be doing the same thing. Let's keep going.
Let's.
So, where we last left off, we'd searched most of the room. We still
Indeed.
have one, two, three radios.
Hmm.
Let's hear the music first before we check the rest.
Why does she have 3 radios?
So, we still have the bottles on the sink, the bedroll, this, the book bag, the fan. Could have sworn there was a fifth thing that
Oh,
wasn't
check
all
the
this.
drink on the shelf to the side
What is it?
of the mirror. Drink to the shelf on the side of the mirror.
Oh, yes, this, the toothbrush, etc.
Ah, not a drink. A toothbrush. Yes.
What do we, uh, what do we want out of the five things here that are not?
Let's go with
Oh,
the backpack.
go with the backpack.
Mm-hmm.
I look down. My school bag, worn down and silly, is almost screaming of its own uselessness. From another angle, it looks like a full belly. Its contents are also regurgitating, decomposing, and turning into a sticky, mushy substance. What a cool image! I need to remember this.
Uh, Totally not cool, senseless, and cruel.
You are there, but I don't care.
Is it me you're laughing at?
What? I'd never. After all, you're not my pet.
I'm not going along with this nonsense anymore. Got it?
Got it. Go on.
Ellipsis!
Ellipsis! Hey, it wasn't on purpose this time.
Tell me what's inside your bag instead.
Excuse me, rather personal. Nothing special. Mostly just all sorts of books. I've taken out all the pens and notebooks out of there, and I'm not interested in anything else.
Ellipsis. You used to go to school, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I had a blast all the way.
Are you sure you understood my question?
Valid. Do you think everything in my life should be doom and gloom? Well, you're wrong.
Alright, alright. What do you like the most there?
Well, the rooms were really bright. Not like at home.
That's it?
Don't rush me. Let me remember. Well, the beds were also soft, and the food was nice. By the way, I attended all the classes. The others always skipped. They probably got told off so hard. I smiled gently, absorbed in warm memories.
You never graduated, though.
Yeah.
Do you remember your last day there?
Ellipsis. It was a normal day. Dad picked me up earlier than usual. He told me that I'm already too old for the school curriculum. I also realized that some time ago the tasks were way too easy. Then we got into the car and went home. Mom greeted us there. We had dinner and went to our rooms.
And what happened then?
I don't remember. And does it even matter?
Tell me about it again.
Is your memory that bad?
Please.
Oh, fine. That day, Dad picked me up from school earlier, explaining to me that I need to grow up. It's not like I could completely grasp what he meant. Either way, I didn't resist. We got into the car and went home. Mom greeted us there. We had dinner together and went to our separate rooms. Satisfied?
um,
Silver.
I'm debating whether there is utility in going over it again. It seems like we might be part of the perseverating if we are, but it might be that we know this is the night that her father killed himself.
You thinking about pressing?
It seems like a poor idea, but it's a poor idea that I want to pursue. So yeah, tell me about it again.
Ellipsis. Dad dragged me out of the school building while I was scratching and biting. The teachers didn't interfere. That scene was ordinary for them. Who knows what the little brat has done? Then he pushed me into the car and we drove home in complete silence. Mom greeted us there, we had dinner together, and went to our separate rooms. Please, let's not discuss this further.
Ooh, okay, well, no, you'll tell me again.
Ellipsis. Ellipsis. Dad bought milk on our way home. Again. I hate milk so much. This girl is blasphemous. Mom was not home. Again. I hate Mom so much.
What happened next?
Suddenly, I feel someone's eyes on my back. Knowing that these moments should never ever be ignored, I turn around. But there's nothing there.
That's like one of the worst things about paranoid schizophrenia is never really being able to feel comfortable in a place. Because there's always that nagging feeling that there's a weakness in your armor and people are learning about it and exploiting it. What happened next?
Everything that happened next... Oh, look, achievement.
Mm-hmm.
You're annoying. Try figuring this one out. Everything that happened next happened after something that led to everything that happened after what had happened. I look at my bag again. Light pouring into the room through the window glints on the metal parts. And there's also a shadow underneath it, which means it's real. Sadly. Whatever. I don't care anyway. I almost end up kicking the bag in a fit of sudden anger, but I manage to stop myself in the nick of time. If I move it even an inch, the whole picture will collapse and I'll go blind. It has already happened. Countless times.
What do you mean you'll go blind?
I've spent months memorizing the location of every item in my room. That's why I can see them so clearly and vividly. You won't get it.
Look at your feet.
I look down and see that a small insect is crawling toward me from my bag. It's barely glowing, and it can't even fly. I guess this firefly is really tired. I bend down to pick it up. The firefly starts glowing brightly as soon as I touch it, and then flies up. There you go, boy. Good job. After doing a victory lap around the room, it flies toward me with high speed. I shut my eyes, anticipating the firefly to enter my ear. That's exactly what happens. After it gets inside, it buzzes for a little while, and then goes silent. This one is kinda sad.
I wonder why.
It doesn't matter. What matters is that it's no longer alone.
Oh, I like that sentiment.
Hmm.
Sure, let's continue searching.
Alright, that's 3 achievements down and 7 to go. Toothbrush, bottles, bedroll, fan.
What?
The 4 objects left.
I was just commenting on the music.
Oh, I hit a radio.
Gotcha. The fan? What's so funny about that?
I imagine myself being a firefly that is looking straight at a giant fan.
And?
I'd be so jealous. The only thing preventing it from flying is a cage it's locked in, and the cable. It's like an inmate if you think about it. It's so sad.
Yeah.
Let's continue searching.
Oh, that was quick.
3 to go.
Sleeping bag?
This is my sleeping bag. It's soft and warm. I'm sure that no living creature would be able to resist the temptation to spend a minute or two inside. They'd want to dig deep into it with a couple of favorite items, close their eyes, and then...
Hey, did you fall asleep?
Huh? I gently slap my cheeks to return myself to senses. It's already way past midnight. Usually I'd be sleeping like a log at this time, but right now I can't. Let's continue searching.
Hey, maybe we'll find something inside.
Nah, my thoughts don't have a feature of putting to sleep. Quite the contrary, they always cause insomnia. Just like tonight.
What?
I said searching here is meaningless. Oh, that didn't work.
Toothbrush.
I turn my eyes toward an inconspicuous shelf near the mirror. There's a glass with a toothbrush sitting on it, and a small towel is hanging nearby. What a wonderful sight. My fireflies are smart and good. They would never get in there. They know about personal hygiene.
Okay, let's look somewhere else. Well,
Then there was one. I look at the mound of pills and it makes me feel dizzy. I don't want to think about it. I don't...
What's wrong?
I've almost skipped my dose for today. How reckless. I could have died.
Hey, calm down, you already fixed that.
That other choice, though. Yes, because you ordered me to.
Things could have been much worse.
Yeah. I heave a deep sigh, come closer, and extend my hand. Wow, it's warm. The moment those words leave my lips, one of the bottles overturns. Pills rain down from it, and along with them... a firefly! Hooray! After circling above my head a couple times, it finally lands in my palm. The firefly rushes up my arm, and upon reaching my shoulder, calls straight into my ear. My mind becomes a bit clearer. And now... this.
Yep.
Clicking upon it seems to do absolutely nothing. So...
is there anything we missed? We might have actually missed something.
yeah, I'm checking now. Radio, radio, radio.
Oh, that was just the radio turning off?
All that's left is this button. Guess we hit it, huh?
I guess so.
You found all the fireflies! Amazing! I guess. I've managed to gather my thoughts, but something still worries me. On the other hand, I wasn't supposed to be happy anyway.
Oh. Why not?
If I lose something and then find it, it's just going back to the starting point. No changes at all. A zero sum. And happiness is always about being positive, right? Oh my god.
Uh, oh, well, that's...
Oof. You have
Uh,
no choice but to say it.
babe, you're too pretty to think. Leave that to us. Okay. You shouldn't think too much, it hurts you.
I want to sleep.
Good, go to sleep. How about you get some fresh air before sleeping?
What do you mean?
Well, go to the balcony, breathe in some air.
Somehow those words triggered a panic attack in me. I subconsciously step away from the balcony. I don't think it's a good idea.
Why?
This may sound silly, but I feel like someone is watching me.
Paranoid schizophrenia.
Oh my god.
Hmm.
I feel like
That's like very close to being therapeutic,
I,
but
f-
it's also very close to being bullying.
I feel like the road to hell might be lined with achievements.
Um,
But we're not playing this for achievements, you tell me.
she really should just go to sleep. So, alright, let's stay here.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do?
What's with this silly question? I'm going to sleep, of course,
Yes!
hoping that tomorrow will only come after a year or a decade. Imagining myself to be outside of my mortal shell, but at the same time still being me. Ridiculous, like milk outside a bag of milk. And yet,
And yet?
you don't have to talk out loud for me to understand that you're worried about me. I know that already. I also know that our time is running short.
Uh, I really don't know how to say this because I don't know what the intention is. You won't take another pill.
Of course not. In fact, I won't take it tomorrow either. And the day after tomorrow. And never ever.
That's a goodbye then?
Are you telling me this is the end? Ellipsis. No. I have one more small favor to ask. A really, really small one.
What is it?
I've blurted out way too much today. A lot of stuff I'd want to forget forever. I don't blame you. But was it really necessary?
You'll see tomorrow.
No, I wouldn't be able to sleep like this.
Fine, what's the favor?
I nervously scratch my wrists and bite on my lower lip.
Wait a minute, you're afraid to tell me?
Yes! I'm also scared that something bad might happen if I tell you. I'm also scared that when something bad happens, something way worse will happen.
Okay, stop, I get it already. Still, I won't leave you alone until you tell me.
Bully.
No, you!
This is an us approach.
Mhm.
I crawl into my sleeping bag. The lower part of the room is very cold. I hurry to wrap myself in blankets, even though the electric heater is working hard to keep me warm. I'm sad because the dreams just won't come anymore. You won't believe me if I tell you how I dealt with it at first.
Of course I'll believe
I know, it was a joke. Well, anyway, I washed my face, brushed my teeth, lied down, and started imagining that I'm watching a dream. I didn't sleep at all, of course, and always looked sleepy in the morning. After a week of insomnia, I started feeling weird and seeing things. Letters floating in the air, strange silhouettes that appeared in the most unexpected of places, bulging eyes with trembling pale pupils. It was scary, you know? Then one day I almost died. I just collapsed in the middle of the room and couldn't move for a while. And then silhouettes, letters, and eyes were hanging over me and hissing. It was horrible. And well deserved, I guess. It felt like I was caught on the biggest lie in the world. Yes, it felt exactly like that. After that, I stopped. But the silhouettes, letters, and eyes stayed here. I guess they like this place. They always follow in my wake, peeping at me, and I'm kind of scared of them and can't even argue with them. But today,
Well,
I...
still too scared to tell me?
Of course, they're still listening, you know.
Use your hand.
Alright. I start chaotically twirling my fingers with enthusiasm, forming complex shapes.
You want me to tell you a bedtime story?
Shh! And I was trying so hard here. Don't you get it? They'll hear you.
Relax, nobody can hear you.
Ellipsis. So what do you say?
I'd be happy to, but I have no idea how to tell them.
Oh, it's incredibly easy. Just talk about something without stopping. Is it really that easy?
Sounds silly.
But it's not.
And meaningless.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm with her on this one. Oh, that's mean. I know enough to realize that we'll just end up wasting time. Let's focus on something actually important.
Boring.
Ellipsis!
Fine.
Close your eyes.
You won't get it. You're not even trying. That's 4 down and 6 to go. I wake up on a wooden bench. In front of me lies a narrow, dimly lit alley. An awfully familiar road. Where could I have seen it? Finally... Oh, this might be a different voice. You got this one when the time comes?
Sure.
Cool. I hear a voice coming from the side. I turn around and see a boy with a weird expression on his face.
You're late.
Who are you? The boy blinks in bewilderment.
We're not going anywhere like this. Try again.
Alright, so there's an audible difference in their voices. Then he takes a very deep breath.
You are late.
I stare at him, confused. He stares back, also confused. Sorry? The boy nods, satisfied.
See, much better. Do you have a name? My name's Tresca.
I give the brat an evaluating look. He's so young, yet already coming at me with questions like that. None of your business. And besides, will anyone tell me what I'm doing here?
Hey, that's rude. It's not like there's somebody else speaking here besides me.
Ellipsis.
Haven't they told you anything? I know all there is to know, for one.
About what?
You're obligated to escort me to the store.
Tresca says that, and strikes a victory pose. No way I'm doing that.
You do understand that refusal.
Well, aren't you full of yourself?
I'm serious. I'm not the one that decided that. You think I'm delighted with your company?
He's weird, constantly shifting between happiness, sadness, loudness, silence. He's a wacko, and his name is stupid.
Are we going or what?
You can go, and I need to think.
I'd be happy to, but I don't know the plan.
Tresca puts on a cunning smile. I bite my lower lip in frustration. And one moment, let me make a slight adjustment here.
Slight adjustment, you say?
Yeah.
To shreds, you say?
Are you still able to hear the game music?
Yes.
Alright, good.
Nothing has changed on my end.
Okay,
Double
good.
check to make sure that nothing has changed on OBS's end.
Hmm. I'll be honest with you. I don't like you. He simply bursts out laughing in reply.
I do like you, though.
Then he grabs my hand without hesitation. I don't even have time to retort.
Lead the way.
Our trip to the store went fine, if not for the fact that Tresca was walking way faster than me. And on the other hand, at times he stopped abruptly and went backwards, studying the ground beneath his feet.
Oh man, that's totally me. That's totally me for real.
In the end, the trip took a lot longer than it should. After reaching the store's doors, we are greeted by a sign. We're closing in 20 minutes.
She has a lot of anxiety about um. She has a lot of anxiety about the 24/7 grocery store closing.
Hmm.
Who had the
Who had the
bright
bright
idea?
idea to indicate their working hours in this way?
They probably have special staff for this. Somebody runs to change the sign every 5 minutes. It's convenient.
Not for the sign changer, it isn't.
Nope.
Are you joking?
Yeah.
You're so annoying.
It's so much better than being boring. How old are you, by the way?
None of your business.
What's your name?
None of your business. I was ready to slap the living hell out of the brat, but a scary-looking man suddenly appeared behind the glass. He's holding a cardboard sign that says, "We're closing in 15 minutes."
Let's go. What are you waiting for?
Huh? Oh, yeah. After another round of going across the long row of canned products, we realize that we're lost. I can't believe you don't know where they sell milk. Maybe we should ask somebody for directions.
Sure.
Hey, wait up! Tresca lets go of my hand and walks confidently toward one of the few store's customers. That person is standing with their back to us, studying something on the shelf.
Hello, can I?
I can't hear neither the second part of his question nor the reply he gets, but my good-for-nothing friend freezes in place, looking the customer straight in the eye. I hurry toward them. Is he yours? The customer talks to me. He speaks with disgust while wearing a scornful expression. Oh boy. If he's yours, please get him away from me. Yes, I'm sorry. I grab Tresca's hand and lead him away. He's still looking at the customer, his mouth ajar and eyes popped. He's also shaking. Only when we turn around the corner, Tresca calms down. What was that?
I got so scared. He said,
What?
"No, not again!"
Suddenly, Tresca starts screaming like crazy. I cover his mouth with my hand. His face is burning. He's crying. Can you act normal?
You don't understand.
Of course I don't. I don't understand anything. Annoying other people is still wrong, though. This is something you don't understand, it seems.
You're mean.
Who, me? Tresca pushes me away and runs off. Drat. At the edge of my vision, I see the store's staff hang a new sign on the door. There you are! I meet Tresca at the cash register. Before that, I managed to visit the milk department after finding out where it was. Hey, you! Move! I hear an angry voice coming from the other side of a long queue that has formed after Tresca. I squeeze through toward him. What happened? The boy doesn't respond. He just looks at his feet and sniffs. The cashier towers over him. There's a bag of milk lying between them. Is he yours? Yes. Just leave him home next time. People in the queue nod in agreement. Pay for the goods, please. Yes, of course. And the waiting fee. What? You heard me. I really should have had you read that, but oh well. I did, but that's unheard of. Tresca starts giggling all of a sudden. And for the fact that your son is a too. But you heard me. You know what? In a fit of rage, I throw a banknote to the cashier of much higher value than needed, even counting in all the stupid fees. Then grab a bag of milk and turn around on my heels. We're leaving, Tresca. Howdy, Varg. Good to see ya. We spend the whole trip back in silence. At some point, we end up turning right toward a gas station. There, Tresca finally breaks his silence.
Do you like ice cream?
No.
Okay.
I look at the boy's face. A light flickers in his eyes for a brief moment, and then goes out.
You know,
He turns away from the path and walks straight toward the highway with determination. I stare at his back, confused.
seems like you're not helping me at all.
What'd you forget, Varg? A new playful light flickers in Tresca's eyes. Ah, wait, that is...
So, how many achievements are we missing now?
We are missing 5. Alright, so that happened, and... I guess now we go through the bad paths to find the remaining achievements. We still have a little time we can use up here.
Alright. Do we want to do a gigantic fucking asshole run?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure those 4 endings represent 4 of the 5 missing achievements. Actually, you know what? Let me check this. Is it 5 achievements? Yeah, we've unlocked 5. And naturally they're all hidden, so whatever.
Yeah, Varg, I am curious as to... Well, okay. So I guess if there's 4 endings, there's probably an ending for being a jerk and finding all the fireflies, being nice and finding all the fireflies, being a jerk and not finding all the fireflies, being nice and not finding all the fireflies, and then a very specific route that is maybe a better ending? How close am I on that?
Out of curiosity, what does continue look like now?
Oh,
Okay,
keep
so
on keep on molesting the bottles that she won't talk about. Just keep on molesting it. No, not quite. It's not exactly following visual novel rules. Okay.
hmm. All right, so we now
Um,
know that reloading after finishing just takes us back to. How do I go back to the main menu at this point? Am I gonna have to quit and go back in, or
what happens if you just hit finish searching?
probably just takes us on to the.
Yeah, it might be time for the old oldie FE4E.
Yep, indeed. But we might be onto something with this, so let's go on. I've managed to gather my thoughts, but something still worries me. And
Varg has advised us to Alt F4.
yeah, I know. I just want
Okay.
to see if there's anything different. And up to this point, there's not.
Not sure there's much that we can do.
All right,
We
stand by.
could we could encourage her to go outside where it we haven't been mean to her. She probably won't kill herself, so that's probably fine.
Stand
Uh,
by a minute here while I get this back up. All right, there's the window for OBS. Here's the window for over here. Well, not that it matters at this point. We're going to go from the start.
mhm. Yes, I see that. Um,
All right, we've seen all of this before. We're just going to start over and get to.
well, okay. Alongsu onto the shop or Tresca ending. You experience first death.
Yeah, we're going to shoot ahead to where we get to the first decision. Because at
Um,
this point, we've done all this.
yes. So is forcing her to go outside at the very end, does that unlock a different ending? Because
Seems seems awfully
we let
likely.
her stay inside.
Yeah, it would seem awfully likely that that would be the case. Yeah, there was an awful lot of plot before the first actual decision here.
But oh, I wonder if this is supposed to be getting an epinephrine injection because she's allergic to milk.
I don't know, you'd know an awful lot more. Actually, no, you not necessarily. That's more medical. Alright, all this, all this, all this, all this.
I mean, you don't give epinephrine in the arm, at least not here in the US.
Hmm.
Skip everything until the question, what were you thinking while lying on the floor?
Was that the first question?
We'll find out.
Yeah. Whoops.
What did we whoopsie doopsie?
I accidentally clicked on a thing. I'm not even sure what thing, to be honest.
Well,
Which probably means I'd better just go back.
I don't think she's been on the floor.
Okay, good enough.
Bark says, I can explain my viewpoint on the scene with Mom and Cole is she allergic to milk.
Alright, so it's fine.
Yep. Go ahead. I want to hear your interpretation of what is actually going on in the.
Does this one matter?
I don't think so. I would
Alright,
keep.
what we did, I'm pretty exhausted last time, right?
Uh, I guess so.
Uh, oh, you don't remember?
It seems like I was trying to be nice, so that seems like something I would do.
Yeah. You did decidedly the least asshole-ish set of things you could have done, I think, so
With the exception of pressing her on her last day of school.
yeah. Well, then I'm not happy either.
You need to go to bed.
Alright. We've gotten back here. I imagine you would have asked this question right here.
Yep.
Alright, so the other line is...
Yeah, I'm all beside myself. By the way, you're the one that's useless
Yeah, we've been there
and
too.
pathetic.
Yep. Alright, more plot dump.
Uh,
Do you remember?
I think I probably would have apologized for being rude. So how do you feel?
You're mocking me, right? I don't remember that.
Um, I'm obligated to ask you this at least a couple times per session.
A session, huh?
You don't like that word?
I'm fine.
No, you're not.
I don't know why, but I thought I'd be able to take control. Okay, we're back on path here. So none of that. What were you thinking while lying on the floor?
Undoubtedly.
You would have said
Moreover,
good side. Yeah, I was going to say, you would have said there's a good side.
actually, I don't remember what I said. This is one of the ones I tortured over. But moreover, it's dangerous.
I know. And you keep pushing me.
Then why did you do that?
I felt like I'd be able to fight it on my own. Alright.
You know what to do. Just drink your medicine already, or I'll stop talking to you.
Yeah, I'm trying to take this from the approach of what didn't you do last time, just to try and catch any different dialogue.
Alright, then we'll play it as mean as possible.
Yeah. So that's...
Just drink your medicine already, or I'll stop talking to you.
No, don't abandon me. Varg. So the milk has nothing to do with allergy. Milk is her fixation, her super idea. Everything is happening because of milk. I need to buy milk. Mom is angry because of milk. Dad bought milk on the way home the day he died, and milk is important. So in that corridor, she's having an epilepsy seizure while delusionally thinking it is because she drank milk. Fascinating. Say it!
Oh, sorry, ellipsis.
Yay! Ellipsis.
Barg wisdom.
Dejected, I reach out for the shelf with my medicine. And we're back.
You still haven't changed.
Okay, we're getting close now.
talk about it?
Yeah, this is not the question.
What do you want then? Ellipsis. Sorry. Ellipsis! It's after she scares fireflies away. Okay.
Alright, so we're gonna get to fireflies right now. Answer ellipsis and do a save when you get free roam in her room.
Good job. Now start over. Unseal behavior. So that doesn't bother you? Should it? No.
I suspect, and this is only a guess, you would have said no the last time.
I would have probably said yes last time.
Okay, then we say no this time.
Yeah. A lot of people act like this. There's nothing shameful about snapping. You did have your reasons. You'll surely get better, and now start over. What do you mean?
Ellipsis.
Fine. Ellipsis? Ellipsis.
Okay.
What were you thinking while lying on the floor?
So, let's see here. Skip everything until this question right here. Let me do this just for the posterity of the thing. Alright.
What were you thinking while lying on the floor?
Answer ellipsis and do a save when you get free roam in her room.
Ellipsis.
Alright, let me hold right here. Varg, is this the point at which you're talking about?
Seems likely to me.
Me too, but I want to be sure of this, because tonight's going to be the last session of this. Okay,
Yeah.
so off we go. Instead of asking silly questions, help me find my fireflies.
To be honest, I have no idea where to look for them.
Me neither.
Guess we'll have to tear the whole place apart.
No, 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 and no. If I make even the smallest of messes here, I'll feel really bad. All the things should stay in their places, and that's it.
Why?
Ellipsis. Ellipsis.
Are you trying to come up with a reason right now? Good idea.
Who, me? No, of course not.
I think you forgot to put up your mind block. I can see through you.
Rude.
Alright then, so we need to find a bunch of tiny insects inside a mountain of junk without moving anything even an inch.
Yeah.
My oh my.
The fireflies are in backpack, pills, notes near the mirror, laptop, and sketchbook. Are those the only 5 locations we need to hit for what we're doing here?
Do what you want.
Yeah. I go to the middle of the room and look around. Where would I hide if I were a tiny firefly? Ah, this is so thrilling! My heart gets warmer from the pleasant anticipation.
Dopamine.
I think you said wowie before.
Alright. Well then, there's smoke coming from your clothes.
Collect all 5, go to sleep, do not go outside. Understood. Whatever.
What does that mean? There's smoke coming from their clothes. Oh, because she's a liar, liar, pants on fire?
Maybe. So the point to save is probably now. Okay. First thing, collect all 5, go to sleep, do not go outside. So the first one is the backpack.
And this time we won't annoy her for the answer.
Yeah, we should...
Totally not cool.
I imagine we'll be able to get the firefly regardless of what path we take. Is that so, Varg?
Seems likely. Let's go with totally not cool. We'll skip our...
Yeah, because I mean we aren't saving again, so we can just go back like that.
Tell me about what's inside your bag instead.
Okay. So this is the same path we just saw thus far.
I guess that day has absolutely no special meaning to you.
Right, I should hope I remember that much. Alright, let's go there. Like I told you, it was just a normal day.
Okay.
Good. I look at my bag again. Light pouring into the room through the window glints on the metal parts. And there's also a shadow underneath it, which means it's real. Sadly. Right. And we already went through the achievement path, so... Okay, we got the firefly there. Next is pills.
4-hour ills. You'll ultimately die anyway, so why worry?
Oh, you're right! Ellipsis. And... got the firefly. Number 3, notes near mirror. The thief's hat is on fire. Yeah, pretty much the same idea. Liar, liar, pants on fire is the one the children, adolescents, and otherwise immature use over here. That's number 3. Next is laptop. And I do notice that there's a finished searching 3 fireflies in. But let's proceed on this route anyway. Right, the very, very long social media story.
You'll end up returning to that subject anyway.
Ellipsis. And we're back on track. And number 5, sketchbook. Right there.
I feel like we're missing so much about the
I mean, I think we
ellipsis.
went. I think we went through all the really deep stuff, though,
Yeah,
and
the
I
ellipsis.
definitely remember this one. Yeah, ellipsis.
I get closer to the sketch. I was nervous. Okay.
Yeah, we've been down this whole thing about pages with drawings on them turning up. That's all 5. Go to sleep. Essentially, finish searching. Do not go outside.
Uh, okay, it's gonna be the top one, which is you don't have to. Alright, let's
Yep.
stay here.
Yep.
Do we want to save so that we... Okay.
Nope. I want to keep. I want to keep the room pristine, untouched, and immaculate for whatever's next after this.
Okay.
All right. Let's. Yep. Not gonna. Yep. 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 All right. So what happens now? Everything is fine, don't you see? New achievement and new content. Hooray. Another terrible morning. Boo. Why is my face always so stupid? I wonder what the others at school will think.
Oh.
Well, it's not that I care too much. I just don't want to be branded a loser on my first day.
Yeah, she's going back to school.
Cheer up. There's nothing wrong with looking different. That's not what defines you, after all.
That's all very healthy self-talk.
You feel like playing the mother? Or who I would assume is the mother.
Hey, hurry up!
Yes, Mom. Oh my god. Another terrible morning. Boo, why is my face always so stupid? I wonder what the others at school will think.
Hey, hurry up!
Shut up, Mom! I'm bracing myself now. I
Big mood. Big mood.
um. All right. What's next? Shaved head.
That's pretty good.
I.
think that last hairstyle was actually pretty good.
Oh my. This could branch.
Hey,
No,
hurry up!
nothing. Get bent, Mom! What the hell? I. The questions are multiplying. I can feel them. Yes, 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 yes,
Ooh, I
yes.
want a screenshot of this one.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. I was able to get it.
Oh, good. Would you like a screenshot of this one?
Nope. Just wanted the one with all the eyes.
Uh huh. What are you gonna do? Some kind of spider meme on it?
No, I have a friend who is a big fan of. Ah, she's. Oh, okay.
Good morning. I feel wonderful today. Can't wait for my first day at school.
Hmm. Hey, hurry up!
Of course, Mom.
That's not how mirrors are supposed to work, silly.
Okay. Varg, what's the next thing to be done here?
My assumption is to take her outside.
We're gonna take a minute to compose ourselves here. And then move on up to the next thing. Collect 4 fireflies. One must be from the laptop with a you will return to that option. Finish, do go outside. Got it. Credits roll is short enough, we'll let that finish. Okay, from the room. One of them must be the laptop. We'll do that first. And you will return to that option.
Social media does in fact like a lot. Reminds me, I should check Twitter.
You will end up returning to that subject anyway, so this is the option we need. Okay, so we'll collect 3 more fireflies. Let me remind myself where they were. Backpack, pills, notes, sketchbook. So, backpack.
The sketchbook is the one that I think is the longest, so I agree. Let's skip that one.
Hmm. Yeah, laptop and pills and notes are the fastest. Yeah, so we'll hit those as soon as we're done with the backpack.
Thanks, Varg.
Yeah,
You are
much appreciated.
a
Yeah,
wise and benevolent guide.
yeah. My schedule, at least for the moment, only allows for tonight to do this, so your help is very much appreciated in getting to all of these. Alright, pills. And notes. Alright, we have 4 out of 5. Finish and do go outside.
Alright, so let's slow down a little, because we've not been outside at all.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna get to that decision first. Everything else before that is gonna be the same.
Well, not necessarily, because we didn't gather all the...
Well, no,
Oh,
we saw...
okay.
Yeah, we've seen that before. It's either going to trigger the Firefly text or it's not, and we need all 5 to trigger that. Otherwise, everything else up to now has been the same.
Why?
Alright, so...
There's no way somebody cares about you that much.
Yeah, so this is the path we're going to follow, and this is where the continued reading begins. Ellipsis! Just for a couple of minutes, okay? No achievement yet. My apartment building looks like a bottomless cooking pot, but instead of soot, it has hundreds of concrete and metal boxes on its walls.
Interesting.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
in the central courtyard.
One of these apartment buildings. There are lights on in the windows. There are muffled voices coming from the inside. The howling wind spirals up and splits into hundreds of independent streams. Seems like it wants to be heard by every person living here. It must feel so lonely, living in endless silence.
Your apartment building is pretty weird, isn't it?
And by the looks of it, she might be fairly near the top. I'm sure there's more down below. I could see the horizon from my window before, and the building grew for miles in both directions. I guess at some point it circled around and closed on itself.
Like the Black Sun.
Ponte City, South Africa, huh? Neat. Nothing unusual about that.
Ellipsis! How do you feel?
I definitely feel... Sometimes that's more than enough.
Still, you're anxious, aren't you?
Of course. Moreover, I'm completely terrified. Was it that obvious?
Oh, looks like an eye. It's not the Black Sun, it's a pupil.
Oh dear.
You're looking in every direction, but not up.
Oh, yeah, I see the blood vessels too. The ceiling is bloodshot. This... I've already told you, haven't I?
About what?
You know, small stuff.
Can small stuff make you terrified?
It's hard to explain. I climb up the metal railing and let my legs hang down. I sneak
Notice that I
short...
do the same all the time.
I sneak short glances at the abyss from time to time. It replies with angry, cold breath. That's how we interact. Like old friends. Alright. Sometimes I feel like the whole world pretends to be crazy. As if it's trying to make me believe in something that doesn't exist.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yes, but at the same time, it makes me feel a little bit happy. Everything around me was created for my sake, to deceive, trick, confuse me. If that's true, I guess I'm not so crazy myself after all.
You believing in this is the definition of craziness.
You're probably right. Ellipsis. Another gust of wind blasts against the pot's walls, smashing the glass to dust and blowing away the concrete crust. I, on the other hand, feel a gentle breeze that only ruffles my hair. I still haven't come up with a code word.
You were the one to remember your promise. You don't need a code word anymore.
I don't like when this happens. I want to remember certain things only when I want to.
Nonetheless, you've made that promise.
And I'll keep it. But you need to keep in mind that from this moment on, every word will bring me pain. I bend down and imagine falling into the abyss. I have exactly 2 minutes before I meet my end. Sounds like the real suicide trigger might start right here. Oh, she did it.
Oh,
A 2-minute fall? That's a tall building, huh? I had a friend online. My best friend. Even though the combination of letters he used instead of his name wasn't that cool. Keyword is imagine. Well, the combination of pixels he had instead of his photo was also boring and unattractive. This is so strange and wrong, breaking the rules of being online. Why was he doing that? Maybe his code was a few lines short? You know, I've actually used that metaphor for insanity as a tech guy myself.
Carrying on. I don't quite get what you mean.
That seems so well timed.
I mean, I do get what you mean. I could tell you about those.
I could tell you about those rules. You can't find them anywhere, but I'm smart, so I figured them out myself. Although, I'm not sure if I should divulge them.
Why?
When I try to say what I think out loud, I tend to make mistakes. Oh yeah, she did say there's no real people on the web. If I make just a single one, everything that comes after contradicts my thoughts. And I end up with the opposite position. And I don't want that.
What? I cannot read that. It's coming through a little bit. Okay. According to your logic, it'd be better for you to keep your mouth shut forever.
Yeah, that's my dream. This would be a hell of a way to do it, huh?
That's why she was so happy when she woke up and imagined herself not having a mouth. I have no mouth, and that's great news.
I see what you did there. Very nice. Keep my mouth shut, never get up from bed, never see or hear anything. Just dream on and on. Oh, why is everything so terrible?
That's actually the number 2 indicator that someone is going to commit suicide, is a desire to go to sleep and just be able to sleep forever. Don't get distracted. So what was that about your friend?
My friend? Ah, yes. He was brazen enough to...
Can't read this. Can you highlight it? It might... Come on, gather your thoughts.
He somehow made me believe that he was real. He kept describing someone else's life to me in detail as if it was him. And he expected me to do the same. And then I told him everything about myself without hiding a single thing. Oh, child. I grit my teeth. The wind whips my face without mercy. It slices my skin into uneven stripes as if it's a piece of thin cloth. He knew more about me than anybody else in the world. You know what he did?
Yes.
Sending an army of bots to harass me was probably fun. And what's most important, it was a win-win situation. They spawn here and there, simple bits of code that are effortless to run. No wonder the algorithm assigns that pattern more often than the others from the list. Text and video generators get to work at the same time. My name surfaces on the web more and more. Oh my god. It's unbearable. Unbearable. From around every corner, every balcony, ceiling, attic, wall, I always feel many pairs of watchful eyes directed at me. And now they watch me from the screens too. But I'll put an end to it. I've decided a long time ago. Though, maybe I only decided that only... My body finally crashes into the ground, smashing into millions of tiny pieces, like porcelain. I'm cold. Let's go back inside. Oh, also, trigger warning, suicide.
A little late. Uh,
Sorry, folks. I returned to my room. Thankfully, it hasn't changed one bit during the minutes I was outside.
I think the mirror's changed.
Without a second thought, I go toward my laptop and yank the power cable from the outlet. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
That's it. What are you gonna do?
And we are... Yeah, really. And we are back on the... what appears to be the main road here.
We don't know what ending we're gonna get.
No, but at this point all the text is the same, all the single choices are the same. Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. Uh-huh. That's very interesting indeed. Interesting visual metaphor on it, too. Yeah, I believe these are all singles, so we can just write it right through to the end here. So what do we have this time? Is anyone there? I wake up lying on the cold floor in the center of a cramped room. I look around without standing up. There's no furniture, just naked walls and a single door. I can hear muffled sounds coming from the other side of it. Scary sounds. I hug my knees and wrap myself in my sweater like it's a blanket. It's no use. I'm chilled to the bone. The room is pretty spacious, but I still can't shake the feeling that I'm trapped inside a suffocating casket, and the faint blue glow that sneaks in through the keyhole only adds to that feeling. Do I want to know what's outside? As if on cue, an inhuman roar comes from the other side of the door. It becomes louder and louder, more and more distinct with every passing second. Someone or something is getting closer. I curl into a ball, trying to take up as little space as possible. Maybe I can become invisible or become smaller in some miraculous way?
Magical thinking.
In the meantime, the howl becomes unbearably loud, but only for a moment. Then it sheepishly backs off until I can't hear it anymore. I finally decide to stand up. After I do that, I hear another strange sound. It's coming from right above me now. The ceiling moves upwards, squeaking. Small debris is falling on my head.
Hmm.
I,
That
s-
is not standard for most inpatient units' padded rooms, but, you know, maybe they do it differently in Russia.
I squint a little, then raise my hand, trying to touch the ceiling, but it suddenly starts to rise quicker and instantly disappears into the darkness. I'm not in a casket anymore. Well, it wasn't exactly a casket now, it was a well in the form of a casket. The room becomes darker and colder. I'll have to do something at some point. Hours pass. I frantically run from one wall to another, delirious. The walls run away from me, making the already spacious room even bigger. In the end, I stand amidst endless darkness, and only the door is watching me with its eye. I kept purposefully avoiding it. I could sometimes hear horrifying rustles and howls on the outside. However, now I don't even have a choice anymore. I slowly come up to the door and reach out toward it. As expected, the door also moves away from me. I continue moving forward with my hand stretched out. I don't want to lose the only source of light in this pitch black darkness. At some point, I get tired of sneaking up on the door, like it's some wild animal, so I lunge at it trying to grab the handle. However, at the last moment, the door whizzes away and I fall to the cold floor, unable to keep my balance. It hurts. Stupid door. Stupid, nasty, cursed door. I hate you. I hate you. I scream at the top of my lungs. I finally let out all the despair that I had bottled up. I slowly realize how horrible the situation I ended up in is. No, 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 no! I don't stop screaming for a moment because I'm scared to end up in complete silence. If the reality around me disappears, my twisted imagination will take over, and the realest thing I have right now is my voice. Hey, I can hear you! A voice, coming from the other side of the door. That's probably Mother Dearest.
I'm here! Come closer!
Oh, that might have been mine. Whatever,
Yes.
whatever. I scream thrice as hard as before. I scream until my throat hurts, until my ears start buzzing. My biggest wish right now is to keep in touch with that person, whoever they are. There's no sound on this. I have no idea who's speaking.
It's gotta be you.
Hey, where are you? I rush toward the door, stumbling on the way. I keep running for a minute, for 10 minutes, but the door isn't even an inch closer. At the same time, the distance between us hasn't grown either, which means I match it in speed. I just need to make one final push. I gather the last bit of strength I have and I push my legs off the ground. The jump feels like an eternity. I stretch out my hand, almost touching my scratchy wood. I dive face first onto the ground with ridiculous speed. I slide at least 30 more feet like that thanks to inertia, leaving behind a bloody trail. My hand is still outstretched, trying to grab empty space. Ah! Tears stream down my face, making the numerous scratches burn. I try to wipe them, but I scream and yank my hand away the moment I touch my face. My lips and nose are now a mushy mess. Somebody! Help! The other side of the door is completely silent. The silence reigns for an excruciatingly long time. However, at some point, that silent torture ends.
Hey, I can see you.
I try to reply, but stifled whimpers come out of my throat instead of words.
Are you hurt?
Yes! Yes! I stand up from my knees despite continuing to cry. I take a couple of deep breaths and start running again. I keep running for hours. I feel like the door is closer to me by an inch or two now. I almost let myself stop for rest at that thought. I can't rest. I'll catch up to it sooner or later. The voice from the other side of the door keeps asking me how I feel. I let out heavy, ragged breaths in reply. I'll fall from exhaustion if I utter even a single word. Still, I'm thankful to them and don't want them to become silent. After another hour passes, I barely scratch the handle with my nails. I'm almost there. I'm so scared. Why aren't you doing anything? I... Why are they doing this to me? Don't they understand how painful this is for me? Almost there. You're scaring me. Go away. Rage fills my brain. I ignore the pain in my bones and channel all my strength into one final jump.
No, go away!
I firmly grasp it in my hand and open the door. Blinding light hits my eyes. I lose the ground beneath my feet and start falling.
A lot of falling in this.
Truly is the grand metaphor for what's going on here. I'm lying face down in grass. I smell water, earth, and the dampness of the night. And grass, of course. The wind tickles the back of my head. It howls and jumps around restlessly. Lying down like this is unpleasant and rude when nature is so alive around me with sounds and, I'm pretty sure, colors too. I stand up, full of anticipation. I see an endless field, a clear sky without a single star and a pale moon somewhere very, very far away. I shake my head and try to focus my eyes on anything, but to no avail. My surroundings are just too vast. I feel dizzy. Bam! I'm lying in the thick, wet grass again, but this time I'm looking at the darkness of a night sky instead of just darkness. Is there any real difference, though? The wind howls. It's clearly upset. But what can I do about it? I hear an indiscernible echo coming from far away. A wolf or someone else. Does it even matter? I'm in the grass. Nobody can see me.
Ooh.
The echo draws closer and closer. At some point, I realize that it's not a wolf. I jump up and start turning my head in a panic. Where is that sound coming from? I haven't said that out loud, but got an instant reply.
Ooh.
Hey, I can hear you! My voice runs across the field, mixing with the rustle of grass and the howls of the wind. It feels like it's about to get absorbed by them, but...
Ooh.
Hey, where are you?
Oh.
I can't understand where I should run to and if I should run at all. Somebody clearly wants me to find and help them. Maybe they're hurt. The grass tickles my heels while I drag my feet in the direction where I think the sound is coming from. It's just, there's not a single tree or stone around, only an endlessly wide field. I hear a resounding, painful scream. I shut my eyes and cover my ears. I suddenly feel scared. The scream turns into a cry. I carefully raise my head, still scared to death. Somewhere very far away among the thick grass, I spot a silhouette. Just a small black spot. But, hey, I can see you! The silhouette doesn't move, but the sound is definitely coming from its direction. No, it's not a scream, more like a whisper, or a wheeze.
Oh.
Are you hurt? No reaction again, just muffled sounds. Maybe it's the wind going mad and the black spot is just a stone or a tree? I walk away, disappointed. 100 steps, 200. Then I turn around. Surprisingly, the spot hasn't become smaller. I start jogging. The grass is no longer tickling me. It's whipping my ankles, leaving cuts. Feeling of panic and unexplainable dread grow inside me. A stone, a tree. Why the hell is this field endless? I don't turn around anymore. I know that it's chasing me. The sounds reaching my ears become even stranger, louder, and more distinct. The wind is bullying me too, huh? Isn't that right? That's the case, right? Finally, I stop. I ran out of breath. I'm at the brink of dying. At least I think so. The horrifying voice is coming from right behind me. I turn around instinctively and, for some reason, try to shield my face, but end up losing balance and falling to the ground. The grass replies with a nasty cackling rustle. I've had enough. I spring up. The silhouette is still there at the same distance as before. It's standing there, without moving an inch. I'm scared here, you know. Why won't you do anything? Ellipsis. The silhouette trembles and then starts slowly gliding toward me, followed by new sounds. Wheezes. Moans. Fear shackles me. I can only stand and watch the approaching black spot. My lips are parched. I speak in a voice I don't recognize. You're scaring me. Go away. After that, the spot expands rapidly and, in the blink of an eye, most of the sky and the field is consumed by the sticky, cold darkness. Paralysis finally lets my body go and I immediately sprint away. I run so fast that the grass turns into a dark green mush under my feet. I slip up, fall, run again. No, 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 no.
Alright, carry on.
No! Go away! An unknown force turns my head with a crunching sound. Oh. Oh. And the darkness consumes everything. Oh. I wake up on the cold floor in the center of a cramped room. I look around without standing up. There's no furniture, just naked walls. That was long.
It was a long dream. What would you say? It's almost 11. What would you say to leaving what's left to whenever we can get together again?
Varg, are the remaining endings lengthy? And the final achievement after that, is that just signifying we got every ending?
One is very short, one is short. Okay, well, let's do it then.
Yeah, I think so.
Forward unto dawn.
Gotcha. Alright, let's get those two short endings first. Good enough.
Continue.
Alright, next ending.
How now, brown cow?
Collect any three. Let's get the quick ones. So, notes. Pills. And what were they? Backpack, sketchbook, and laptop. Backpack would be the
Not.
shortest
Yeah.
among them.
Yeah.
Then go to sleep and do not go outside. Okay, finish. Do not go outside. Let's stay here. Alright, here we go. I look down. 8 down, 2 to go.
Ah, what a delightful spiral staircase.
I wake up and immediately lose consciousness from horror. A thin metal stairway snakes around a giant column, disappearing into the darkness. I press myself into the cold wall and pray that I freeze into it. This feeling. I know I've spent a couple hours or days here, but I don't know how high the column is. I don't know whether I'm going up or down. That is a very slow fade. A billion pounds of concrete and a million miles of emptiness. It's impossible to stay sane when you're near cosmic numbers like that. Looking at them, touching them, even thinking of them makes me feel unimaginable horror. It was just a matter of time before my short term here will end. My mind will melt and my body will turn to dust. The wall's coarse surface scratches my face. The steps under my feet hum from the wind, eager to escape the concrete's clutches and dive into the abyss along with me. But I'll stay here. I'll stay here without going anywhere. I won't even open my mouth. My every word will be swallowed up by the abyss. I won't take a single step. Why should I? To find out where the stairway abruptly ends? It's all meaningless. Many units of time pass, but I'm still unmoving. My whole body is trembling, but then I realize it's the whole space around me that is trembling. It can't wait to destroy me. Maybe I should gather my will and at least turn my head? That thought doesn't stay in my head for long. It's torn out with inhuman force. Unaware of what's about to happen, I slowly turn my whole body with a squeak. No, this is not what I wanted. Don't! Amongst the
Amongst the silence
Go ahead.
sings a lonely colossus unmoving. Until the music stops, the bridge across the dark abyss cannot be seen.
Jesus. A Oppressive, thick, sticky air drives itself into my ears, silencing my thoughts with a haphazard string of words while I watch the scene before me unfold. Hundreds of giant concrete structures just like mine, spread in tiny rows endlessly in all directions. Stairways wrap around them like vines.
There, at the end of this world, there's a person smiling. This world still exists, but all that makes it both but all that makes it both exists and not. Wait, this world still exists, but all that makes it exists and not.
I try to get an erection with my mind block, but to no avail. My brain is already at the mercy of the super creature. A moment passes, and I realize that my body doesn't belong to me either anymore. My legs start moving on their own. The only thing I can do is choose the direction: up, down, or.
The crowd notices blood on Wozik's hands. He runs away. Mendel appears. He has nothing human about him apart from his excessive grace and hidden elegance. He walks out to the center of the stage. First act begins.
Foreign thoughts become even more incoherent. There's less and less space for my own.
Do you feel the connection to your body clearly, or does it still cause confusion and fear? If you've been living through that fear a lot recently, how does it manifest exactly? Answer honestly. Don't hide anything. Going down, I say.
I decided to descend. Descend.
You can have a sneaking suspicion that something is wrong because your path has changed. Maybe you started talking in a wrong way or made some sort of mistake. If so, start getting used to your new life. Try creating imagery that would instill the feeling that everything is as it should be, and with time it will create a new order inside you. I don't doubt that you're going through some hard times, but you have to make sacrifices. Grow up. Only then you'll be able to obtain the meaning of life. Do you get it? Try that if you find it important. Every passing day is a precious gift. If you share a piece of that gift with the world even once, it'll seem like a speck of dust. You get it? No, I'm sorry. I won't get that then. Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? Yes, even you get it. When you notice how people look at themselves in the mirror, you look at your own reflection and realize that it exists in reality. Do you understand how exactly it exists? I imagine that is what it is like for a lot of my patients to talk to me when I'm not paying attention and I'm just stream of consciousnessing my thoughts of them.
Hmm.
That kind of like conversation without imparting any understanding is like a thing that I find myself sometimes getting trapped in.
Right.
So there's only one more ending, right?
Indeed. Varg, what's the final ending? Or how do we get there, I should
Final
ask.
ending. Doodaloo-doo. Doodaloo-doo-doo. Doodaloo-doo. Doodaloo-doo-doo-doo. Doodaloo. Doodaloo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Sorry, that's enough of that. 3 three parts of that ending original soundtrack named Step 1, Step 5891, Step 79,356. Uh, 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 does that mean three radio stations, maybe?
Step 1, step 5891.
Oh, because I see. That those are steps on the huge structure, the huge staircase structure. I see now.
I believe you. Alright, back to the room. And what are we doing? Alright, same,
Okay.
collect 3.
But
Notes.
this time go outside, I assume?
Pills.
4-hour ills.
Backpack. Her smartphone. So we did miss something. Alright, let's get through this item real quick. Alright, is this like some kind of 1 pixel?
Bottom right corner. Oh, was
Near
that
the...
it? That's it. That's it.
Where?
It's the second gum wrapper. North?
Oh,
No.
this shit? Because I
Yeah.
never caught that before. You gotta be kidding. What's this? Was that it? The
Uh,
gum wrapper?
I guess so. Go to sleep.
Go to
Alright, so
sleep.
we don't make her go outside.
And do not go outside. And stay here. Okay. Power napping.
Pineapple on pizza.
You know what?
Alright.
I'll forgive that because you've been such a big help here. Are we friends? So that's what friendship is like.
Okay.
Hello. Thank you for choosing our pizzeria. Oh, that's... okay. You know, this place is so empty, though I don't feel particularly good or bad because of it. I'm all alone, but at the same time, it feels like I'm not. There's a lot of thoughts in my head. They always keep me entertained. I can create a whole world with them. I'm sure it'll be able to fill the void around me if I try hard enough. Although, no matter how much I think, my surroundings don't change. Yes, things happened in my head, but they never left its premises. And it's not like I tried to suppress them. Maybe they were afraid to come out? Go ahead.
What kind of pizza would you like to order? Sorry, is that not racist enough for you? Do you want me to...
It's good. Anyway, there's so much space in my head that could be put to good use. So every thought would make a senseless and merciless circle in my head, destined to go back to where it started. But there should be an end somewhere. You can't wander around forever. What do you think? I know it sounds scary, but it's not scarier than constantly existing among the void. This place is safe, and nothing bad will happen here. Nothing good will happen either, though.
Please note that we have a special offer right now. 3 pizzas for the price of 2.
Yeah, there's probably nothing good in having the same thoughts over and over. What's the point of having them anyway? I could have escaped from here, but I feel like my thoughts aren't helping me at all. They should be ashamed. Probably. It's nobody's fault that I can't even see a door here. I would have had it easier with one. I tried to find it. It turned out to be a waste of time. No matter where I look, it's not looking good, pun not intended, and that strips me of the last bit of clothing for salvation.
Listen, you. We also have a discount program for new customers. You can learn more about it on your account page.
Don't you think that me being here is also a waste of time? What's the point in that? I can just keep on thinking, and even then my thoughts are as meaningless as empty as everything else. Does it mean that I'm not filling the void, but am a part of it? Then why should I feel anything? Why should I know that I exist? Although, I'm not even sure about that. This place is always neither warm nor cold. It's neutral. But at the same time, if I think about warmth, I feel warm. Maybe this world corresponds to my thoughts? I wouldn't want to admit that I'm completely empty. I'm not the reason everything had disappeared, right? Can't I just adapt and get used to having nothing around me since I can't do anything about it?
Are you ready to make your order?
Yes, that's right. I shouldn't care. It's empty here, and it makes me feel neither good nor bad. I'm all alone, but at the same time, it feels like I'm not. There are a lot of thoughts in my head. They always keep me entertained. I can create a whole world with them. This place is safe, and nothing bad will happen here. Nothing good will happen either, though. Me being here is a waste of time. I don't fill the void, I'm a part of it. This strips me of the last bit of hope for salvation. I shouldn't care. It's empty here, and it makes me feel neither good nor bad. It's nobody's fault that I can't even see a door here. What's the point in having one? I feel like nobody is helping me. They should feel ashamed. I wouldn't want to admit it, but I'm all alone here. I can't do anything about it.
Please note that we have a special offer right now. 4 pizzas for the price of 2.
I don't care that this place is empty. You hear? I feel neither good nor bad. I'm all alone. My head is full of thoughts. They eclipse the world around me. This space is pretty cramped, but at least it's safe.
Oh, I wouldn't be so sure.
Even though I'll never feel good here. Does that mean existing is a waste of time? I need to decide, and my thoughts will help me. They'll lead me to the exit, and I'll be able to feel proud of myself. I'll be able to save myself. At the same time, I don't really care anymore. This place is empty, but it makes me feel neither good nor bad. I'm alone, but my head is full of thoughts. A whole world, one might say. If I try hard enough, it'll be able to fill all the void around me. Still, no matter how much I keep thinking, my surroundings don't change. Yes, something happened outside of my head, but what was it? There's not enough space for my thoughts. It's already filled with something else. Even if there's nothing around me, I'm still here. And my head is full of thoughts. If I try hard enough. Ellipsis. So the world isn't empty after all. I can't see anything.
Hmm. For sure. Session timeout. Please reload the page. One of the most difficult things working in the field of mental health care, working with people with schizophrenia or people who have OCD or, you know, similar things, is how much time you just have to be patient while you let a thought just meander.
Hmm.
And that is what this feels like. This feels like if this was like a normal game with a normal story, each of these each of these different branching paths would tell us something important that would let us like put all the pieces together to make some progress. But it really is just watching someone go through something and there's nothing that you can do. You just have to wait for them to get through it before you can get back to whatever it is that you're trying to do with them.
Hmm.
Whether it's like this last ending is like a dealing with someone who's perseverating on a cycle of thoughts, and you just have to wait for them to break out of it. Um, the 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 being trapped in the room and then falling and being chased. That's like very classic. Like you can't do anything with someone who's in paranoia. They just have to get away from their fear or confront it and yell and scream at it. And you just have to wait for them to work through it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems about right. No endings, no progress, no catharsis. Only struggle.
Um, well,
That was certainly interesting. And Varg, thank you once again for your assistance through this.
yeah, I hope to see more of you in the future, Varg.
Indeed, and Silver, the next time you and I are together, what say you to some Lemmings action?
Yeah.
Okay,
Christmas lemmings, if you please.
absolutely. And I'm not sure when exactly that'll be, but I will. I should be back here this coming Friday night to do some tabletop sim stuff. And yeah, glad to do this, Varg. And hopefully we'll see you again some other game. But anyway, it is nearing bedtime on this region of the world, and this has been good. I'm Alpha,
I'm Silver Recluse.
and until the next time, You have very businesslike ears. Good night.
Good night.